Welcome to Beyond Flow. My name is Tammy, and this is Maria. We are your hosts, and we are here with you again for another great episode. Excited to have you. Wanted to just remind you, if you like what you see, please share it with your friends, your family, anyone you think that might benefit. We're also on Spotify now, so please check us out there where you listen to your podcasts. And know that today's episode is going to be about an amazing subject. We're going to talk about miracles. What are miracles? How do you manifest a miracle? Do you manifest a miracle? What can we do to bring them into our lives? So miracles, what a subject, right?
One of my favorite ones.
I know. We looked up just to sort of get a feel for what a definition of a miracle is, just like Google definition. So I'm going to read it to you. An extraordinary, often supernatural event attributed to divine intervention that defies natural laws and inspires awe. So that's what we see a miracle sort of as a encyclopedia version of, right? And I started thinking about it, and what didn't resonate with me about that is that
What didn't
resonate with me about that is that it insinuates, I think, that the natural laws are our limits in life.
Okay.
So science or anything that's been sort of handled by humanity, anything that moves outside of that becomes something that's only attainable from the outside, an extraordinary event. I think miracles definitely have an extraordinary event feeling to them. But I think we are limited by believing that miracles happen only outside of us. I think it's a limited thought, actually.
So what do you think can we do to not see it outside of ourselves?
So I think miracles are really a shift in how we see things. You know?
Okay.
I think it's just a shift in perspective. So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think someone can do to bring a miracle into their life?
I think you have to be a miracle for somebody else. And in order to create a miracle into your life, it's one of the ways is to uplift somebody else.
Wow.
Because the world needs it.
Yeah.
The world needs a miracle. I mean, it's a birth, in the Course in Miracles. And I don't think I got the page to read about it, but I know that it's our birthright to experience miracles. And to experience miracles, it's not only something that happens on the physical realm. There's forces, angelic beings, however you connect. I connect a lot with angels, so
Yeah.
I love to know that there are, forces beyond this physical world that it's working on your behalf to create miracles. There are miracles that happen today that I don't know about, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I was driving, on I-95. I don't know all the forces that got together for me not to experience something that maybe I don't know about, right? And there's so many ways that, I woke up this morning, you woke up this morning. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
So the question is, for me, is to uplift somebody else. That's how we can create a miracle. Definitely to be a miracle for someone, do something that maybe a prayer, you pray for somebody else. you don't know what that prayer, where that prayer can ascend to, that can create a miracle in somebody else's life,
Yeah.
just like vice versa. And then a more physical aspect, to connect to the Psalms, the Psalms, the
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
And if you are in need of a miracle, read that psalm with an open heart and talk to God. Talk to God about a miracle that you might need. If you feel like, you're about to give up on an idea, or you feel like things aren't opening up for you, which is, there's a reason. Sometimes it's just to practice faith and know that just because it's not happening, it doesn't mean our life is not over. So just because something, it's taking its time, or just because we're going through a hard situation, that doesn't mean that the miracle is not about to happen around the corner. Maybe you are experiencing the miracle.
Right.
That's what happens between time and space, right? So
Yeah.
that is three things. Be a miracle for someone, lift somebody, always. A stranger, definitely our loved ones, and sometimes those are the ones that pushes the buttons a little bit more, but just uplift somebody else, because that creates a space in our soul for a miracle to land on us.
Yeah.
And the Psalm 98, read it with your heart.
Wow.
If you need it to experience, just read it with not only an open heart, but knowing you have to believe in miracles to create one.
Right.
That just came to me. Like you have to believe in miracles to be able to experience one.
Yeah. And I think that just a conversation can shift the energy for a person to feel a miracle.
Yes.
Just a change in circumstance. All of a sudden you feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders and things transform. It's a miracle. It feels like a miracle, and it is a miracle. And that's why I think that it is about perspective. How are we seeing? Like you're saying, you're wanting something to happen in your life, and it's not happening the way you want or at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment that you make a shift, or someone else around you makes a shift, and then things align, and then maybe something better happens than you were expecting. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
But these are things that I think if we get out of our limited thinking, get out of our limited existence, our human knowledge, our scientific knowledge, I think miracles can happen every day, all day. And the idea of lifting someone up, I mean, that becomes a miracle in their life and eventually comes back to you in some other form. And we are co-creating this.
Because the world needs love.
Yeah.
That is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's the most powerful force.
Yeah.
So I was reading on, of course, it's impossible to talk about miracles without the Course in Miracles.
Without the Course in Miracles.
But, so, I mean, everyone should read this book. It's A Course in Miracles. Such a life-changing, it's not even a book. I think it's light. But the first thing that it says, the meaning of miracles, the number one, I mean, it has several ones, but there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than the other. They're all the same. All expressions of love are maximal.
Wow.
So there we go. Love. Then from all of them, I like this one. I think it's this one. I cannot read with or without glasses, so a little bit. Okay, miracles honor you because you are lovable. I'm going to say that again. Miracles honor you because you are lovable. And the other one is miracles are examples of right thinking, aligning your perceptions with truth as God created it. So
Your
those
perceptions.
those three I like.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say it because you just mentioned the perception.
Yeah.
The perception of
a situation. Our perception is so,
Yeah, it's
like
like,
we talk about.
it's like sometimes you think, oh my God, this horrible thing happened to me, right?
Yeah.
And then in time we go, oh my God, that was the best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah.
So it's the perception.
Yeah.
It's and all the growth that happens because you experience maybe that setback, which is not really a setback.
Totally.
And yeah.
And the universe does, God and the universe does conspire for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
It's never not for our benefit. And we can see things from that perspective and realize that every day, like you said, you don't even know the forces that are happening to have your day go the way it goes. But your openness to accept those things, to trust and have faith, is huge. It's another question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Because I think trust is important in this process. How can people shift from doubt to trust?
I go back to, I love stories.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story of the Baal Shem Tov, which he was a Kabbalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I don't know if it was Karenberg or the Raf in one of the Shabbat events that they had, and they were probably before. I think it was probably the Raf.
Okay.
And he gave the story of, he told the story. There was a sage. We don't know if it was, I know it was a righteous soul, so I don't know if it was the Baal Shem Tov, but, I know it's a story of the Baal Shem Tov. And he, there was this very humble family. They lived very simply, and they had a cow, only one cow, and that was their source of sustenance. Mm-hmm. So this righteous soul comes knocks at the door, and they open, and this very simple family, oh my God, they recognize this righteous soul, the sage, and so they welcome the sage, and they're like, oh my God, they feel so honored that the sage came into their home, and so they serve this teacher, righteous soul, and it's all about like serving him. And so they have dinner, they share stories, and at some point, they go to bed, and when they go to bed, the sage kills the cow. The only source of sustenance, because the cow was, give them the milk, and, so that's how they lived.
Yeah.
And so he kills the cow. And the next morning they wake up and they say, oh my God, like, how can we were so kind to him, and look what he did to us. Yeah. And we thought he was such a righteous, elevated
soul,
sage, and look what he did. And so, the husband, it's like, he's almost like, he creates all this resentment towards the sage. And so, but they know they don't have the cow. So now they start working on the land. They start coming up with different ideas to become,
for their
to make more money. And so they now, not only, with time, not only they make the same, but they make even more money. And so at some point, they both thank the sage for killing the cow.
Wow.
So the question again is how we go from
doubt
to trust. It's that. So what does the cow represent? It's our limited view, because we cannot.
Totally.
There's so many blessings that are coming to us right now. Maybe not, but in the future, it's already, some blessings are already predestined by the time of our birth. And we think that because we're not experiencing those blessings in this particular moment, that we're never going
That
to.
they're not coming.
They're not coming.
Yeah.
Now, what we do right now can determine if we are going to get those blessings or not. Not only that, the thing is not if we're going to get them. We're going to get them, but it's can we hold on to those blessings? So we have to trust that, like the cow. Sometimes we are gonna be, things are gonna be taken away, but not necessarily. We have to trust that is for our expansion.
It's like the vessel of water. When a person, right, that it's a Kabbalistic concept too, the vessel of water. If you think of yourself as a vessel and you fill it with water, at a certain point that gets full, and there's no more expansion. There's no more. You can't receive anymore. So what's the only way to be able to receive anything more? Is to poke a hole in the bottom of the vessel
and then let it flow,
and let that share to someone else that can benefit from that vessel. Then the Creator can say, there's more. You can keep receiving. So that idea of being limited by the cow, that it's like the same thing, and maybe there was a lesson in sharing in a way that was not from fear and not from, what am I going to get out of this, but pure sharing. And I think that's what that concept with the vessel too, is to think of others as you're receiving blessings. Then you have room to continue to receive more and to share more and to bless others. And that's like the best reason to receive a blessing, right?
Correct.
I was going to share. Did you have something else to say or no?
No. I wanted to. I think I had taken something also from the. I want to say something more about what we just shared, but I also wanted to share something with that Marianne Williamson said about miracles. But I want you to finish what you're saying before I jump into it.
Yeah, I just didn't want to cut that. So, I think we receive and experience miracles in so many different ways. And just yesterday, here at Flow Life at this store, a customer came in, a customer who comes often, but she brought some friends for the first time that were in town from New Jersey. Anyway, and for some reason we got onto this subject, and the one person, the friend, was telling us her story of 9/11.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wow, we talked about that in a while. And she was in the building. She was
in one of the towers.
She was in the first tower.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This woman's standing in front of me. I mean, I don't know that other than I think I've talked to a fireman that's also a customer here that experienced and was part of the work there, but someone that was literally in the building at work.
Wow.
So, I mean, my jaw is on the ground talking to her. But the quick story is that she's was on the 40-something floor and it hit 60-something floor. And what they felt in not knowing what happened was this giant jarring. And she said her desk almost fell backwards. She had to hold on to it to not fall on the floor. So they're like, what was that? No idea what's happened, but it was such a force that the boss and everyone knew they should leave. So they leave. And they start going down the stairs, and it's funny because she goes, I forgot my pocketbook. And she went back into her office to get her purse and then continued down the stairs. They walked all the way down the stairs. Still, I don't think knowing what's going on. Mm-hmm. And she got 2 blocks away when that first building went down. I mean, and I was like, what? You walked out of the building, and she tells all about, the bit of the chaos that was happening. But I just said to myself, on the week that I know we're going to talk about miracles, someone is standing in front of me as a living miracle.
Wow.
And why did she get out? Why did
she share her story?
And why did she? Yeah,
having
it's
the
so
podcast
crazy.
about miracles.
And I'm like, because miracles are, I think they are like, as that definition, they are extraordinary. But I think the same vibration that holds that moment for her to really just walk out of the building, nothing happened to her. It's the same vibration that we can connect to in our everyday life and experience miracles that can have as magnificent of an impact as that.
And also to listen to, because then, like where I go is, okay, but what happened? Didn't the other people experience miracles, right? Like, but the truth is that yes, because the miracle is not about, not transcending this physical world. Like at some point we're gonna
Right.
get rid of this body,
Yeah.
right? So what? That's not, no, but the miracle, what I was gonna say is also to trust our intuition. Maybe that's the miracle too. It's to always know that we're always guided. We're
Yeah.
always, and we do have the ability to connect to that inner voice, to that angelic voice, to that inner higher self, the oversoul, that it's always there guiding us.
Yeah.
And who knows also how the souls that went on the other, that didn't, probably, like what they, maybe there were miracles for so many others. They took it upon themselves to go through that experience, and but who knows,
Yeah.
those are things that are very much unseen
Yeah.
by the naked eye of that limited
Yeah.
understanding.
And I think if we realize that it's a muscle to work on, to have faith and trust and connect to our intuition, it's a muscle. A practice of connection is how you can hear that voice that is coming from your higher self.
Right.
So it's living our life in a way that feels more connected more often, and seeing that our creation of our life is extraordinary in the ordinary. It
Yes.
truly is.
I wanted to read what Marianne Williamson. This book has helped me so many times in different times in my life. It's A Return to Love. I think I've mentioned this book in different,
So much.
at some point.
Such a good book.
Yeah.
Can never mention it too much.
Yeah, no, because it's such a, like, no matter what, you can open a page and you're like, oh my God,
Wow.
that's exactly what. But I wanted to read this. So it says, to become a miracle worker means to take part in a spiritual underground that's revitalizing the world. Is that how you say it?
Revitalizing.
Okay. Participating in a revolution of the world's values at the deepest possible level. That doesn't mean you announce this to anyone. So I like that, because it's very much an inside job, right? So the world's about shifting big time. Miracle workers learn to keep their own counsel. Something that's important to know about the spiritual wisdom is that when spoken at the wrong time, in the wrong place, or to the wrong person, the one who speaks sounds more like a fool than a wise man. The Course in Miracles tells us that God's plan for the salvation of the world, it's called the plan of the teachers of God. The plan calls for God's teachers to heal the world through the power of love.
Wow.
So a teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. Oneness. It's not about the one, but oneness. They come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religion. They are the ones who have answered the call. So our job as a teacher of God, should we choose to accept it, is to constantly seek a greater capacity for love and forgiveness within ourselves. So that's it. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but
it's like the ticket is love and
that's
forgiveness.
It's love
like
and forgiveness.
That's the key.
And that is how we also can become a miracle worker. And I think there's one more thing before that I also read, and I wanted to. I don't know if I. Probably not. Yeah, no, I think it was probably that part of the miracle worker, and the understanding of that, like to connect and to create miracles and to be a miracle. Connect with God.
Yeah.
What more powerful thing we can do for ourselves and for the world is to go to the Creator, to the One.
Yeah.
To the One that created you. And if we can understand that we are made by and on the image of God, right? Then that's our birthright. All we have to do is just know that we have that in our DNA. We have the DNA of God. So what is the most incredible and more powerful way to know that miracles exist is because you're here and I'm here, because we're all here. Mm-hmm. What more miracle than the human experience?
Yeah.
So,
no kidding.
And that, if you want to be a vessel for miracles, go lift somebody else. Go and love someone truly, and just connect to the one that will open all the gates for you, which is the Creator.
So I have to tell you a story. It's crazy. It's totally aligned with what you just said. This happened this week too. Well, it finalized this week. So about a week or so ago, a customer came in and he was buying a gift for his wife. And, he looked around and we put together a set kind of, with a crystal, and it had a beautiful necklace, and it had a beautiful bracelet, and it was really, really nice. And he was so excited. And he had a really great week. He had gotten unexpected abundance from different sources, and so we're deciding or whatever, and then I ring it up, and he goes, what, give me a second. And when he turned white as a ghost, runs out the door, goes to his truck, comes back in, and he's like, I'm so sorry, but something's happened. I had all this money in my pocket and it's gone, and I'm freaking out. Like, he was so stressed. He goes, I'm gonna go back to the office, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Can we just put it on pause? And I said, of course, go do. I said, but look, let's calm down and let's just trust. A little while later, he comes back and he's so broken. He's like, I'm trying not to be upset. And he goes, but it's gone. And I went back to the client, and I think I had them look at the camera, and I think someone took it. And because I just don't even want to know that people would do that. I mean, it's so heartbreaking to me. And he goes, so I think I just want to get the bracelet only. And while he was away, I put everything in a box, and I kind of created a nice, beautiful little gift, because I knew it was for his wife's birthday, and his wife's birthday was in the weekend. So something came over inside me that said, nope, it's not the answer. And I said, listen, you're not going to get the bracelet. I want us to do something together. I want us to co-create a miracle.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
I want us to co-create and manifest this money that has moved away from you for whatever reason. I believe we can create that, and I believe God can give that to you, and in whatever way. You
just gave him.
I want you to take it. And he goes, no, I can't. I said, yes, I want you to take the whole thing. Have a beautiful weekend with your wife. And I said, we'll see.
Wow.
And I said, we hugged. We grabbed each other's hand, and I said, let's manifest this with God. So the weekend passes and everything, and then he just came in yesterday to tell me. He came in on Wednesday and I wasn't here, so he came back to tell me. And he said, "You're not going to believe what happened." And I'm like, "Okay." And he had a big smile on his face, so I knew something good had happened. So he went on Monday to the convenience store, and he grabs his snacks and stuff for the week. And once in a while, he likes to buy a lottery scratch off.
Okay.
And he goes, "I only buy the $10 scratch off. That's the only one I buy if I ever buy one." And so something told him to buy it. $500.
Wow.
The amount of money he lost was $450.
Wow.
So not only did God give him the money, he gave him more.
Wow.
And it was the coolest experience. And I mean, he and I just we hugged. I mean, we had tears.
Wow.
And
wow.
it was really amazing because honestly, that's an unusual thing to do, but I forgot about it. It's like I had him in my mind hoping things were going to be better for him because I know he was broken about it, but I wasn't worried about the jewelry. And it was so cool. And I said, this is a miracle. But we get out of the way and we allow that to happen. And I felt like this was so perfect. And I just said, God, like we can actually do it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And
that was
that
was an opportunity for you to experience that with him too.
Yes, and he's a customer,
Which is
not
so
someone
important.
I really know.
So important because you just said something that it also hit me. And I think with this, with that
Yeah.
story, we can, we can end the moment.
Yeah.
But it's the importance of being happy.
Yeah.
Be happy no matter what comes. And I'm not saying don't process all their emotions. And, of course, if something happens that it's hard to, I'm sure when he lost the money, he probably was mad, sad.
But he was working really hard not to be.
Right.
Like he was conscious, like, I don't want to be upset. I want to trust, but it's hard.
And and I'm going to say this, and I think I've said it in one of the episodes before, right before a miracle comes, right before a big, especially with abundance, and I want to do an episode about money and abundance and a deeper understanding, but right before we're about to experience that miracle or that,
breakthrough or that gift,
especially abundance, that we're gonna get tested with anger. So if we remember that, then just being a happy, even when something like the cow, remember, is to expand. It's not, God is not taking something from you
to hurt you.
Sometimes it's just, that's where the breakthrough is.
Yeah.
So that we can appreciate every moment. I can look back at every experience I've had in my life where I've been, I don't know, I got fired from this job. I was a receptionist. I hated it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. But, it's what it was giving me, the sustenance in that moment, the money. And I'm like, okay, they fire me for something stupid. And I felt so because I was so proud no matter what. But, but from that moment on, it was like, okay, maybe God wants me to break through something different to something more.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
for sure,
if we don't do it, the universe has to do it for us. But know that there's a miracle always. There's many miracles, not only that we're meant to experience in this moment, but waiting for us.
Yeah.
So be a miracle for somebody else.
Love it.
Thank you.
Perfect. Will do. Thanks.